Hey everyone, Techne here with a review of the new upcoming mouse by G-wolves, the HSK. And just to be clear, as you can see on the box, this is a sample. Heck, it comes in a hottie box here, you know what I mean? So again, this thing's still in production, but we're gonna break it down and do my traditional test. We're gonna squeeze it and everything and just give it a full rundown, let you know what's the pros and cons. And let me tell you what, straight out of the box, by the way, in your box, you get the mouse and the paintbrush, at least as far as a sample. We know G-wolves usually throws in a lot of accessories as far as grips and stuff like that. So again, not too sure what we'll get in there, but as far as in my box, little paintbrush, which is, wow. I mean, this thing is so soft. I can just powder my nose here. Like, wow, it's so soft. Whew. I might need to break out those mouse pads with those soft blankets. Just hold that blanket. Whew, that's nice. Anyways, back to the mouse. So again, going right in line with this being unreleased and still in the works right now and being a sample, there's really no information out on this, you know what I mean? As far as dimensions on G-wolves, x-ray pads, which who sent this out, thank you guys by the way. But again, there's really no information on it, you know what I mean? Again, it comes in a hottie box right here. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna test it all out here. We're gonna bring out the old digital measuring do-hickama-whatsy right here and actually get our dimensions, and then we'll be right back to actually talk about what we think about the dimensions. So talking about those dimensions we just saw, or heck, even just the mouse, this thing is straight up, no question about it, tiny. This is a fingertip mouse. Now, I'm sure someone's gonna be in the comments, ah, man, I could palm that thing. You know what I mean? My 6-year-old son even said this thing was small. So anyways, this thing is straight up fingertip. Like all day long, that's what it is. I think no matter what hand shape yours is or size yours is, you know, you're gonna be fingertipping this. But let me tell you what, really shockingly, if any of you watch my videos, you all know I love palm, little relaxed claw. My main actually is a Zowie ZA11B. Love this stinking mouse. Great for a palm, sits in the back right there. I've been using a lot of relaxed claw lately, and again, it just sits on there perfect. I stinking love this mouse. 90 grams, we all know not many people these days can lift 90 grams. 2020, can it get any weirder, right? Like 90 grams heavy. Anyways, so again, talking about this guy compared to my main. Completely tiny, completely opposite of what I use on the daily, you know what I mean? But let me tell you what, shockingly, I had an absolute blast using this mouse. Now, I play mainly Call of Duty and Insurgency Sandstorm as far as my first-person shooter with mouse and everything. So Insurgency Sandstorm was completely off the books for this mouse. If any of you play it right there, again, it's a little slower paced, lots of weapon recoil right there, and you gotta hold your shot, you know what I mean? And I couldn't do that with this guy, probably because I'm just not really used to fingertip that much, you know? I kind of like to get my mouse in my hand and kind of just hold and balance my shot. With fingertip, it's more like, you kind of look at like Kovacs or something like that, or maybe Call of Duty Hardcore, where bam, one shot, bam, one shot, bam, one shot, where you're flicking and constantly moving. That's where, at least for me, that's where fingertip really comes into play, you know what I mean? And playing some Kovacs, I had a lot of fun with this. But going into my main game that I play the majority of the time, Call of Duty, I had a decent time, because again, Call of Duty, you really have to hold your shots, unless again, you're playing hardcore mode, right? So you gotta hold your shot to get that kill right there. And that's where this got a little bit messy for me. Again, a little bit of recoil, you're still moving, and maybe at a medium pace right there, you know what I mean? And for me, as far as fingertip, it was hard to hold my position and then my shot straight like that. So what I did with this mouse, which actually made it pretty fun, is instead of getting in that really tight fingertip, I kind of relaxed my fingers down right there, right at my top knuckle. It rested down on this top hump, and it kind of just really locked in the mouse right there, and it was really fun. Again, I had to increase my DPI on this guy. I usually use 400, and I increased it up to the 800 right there, and I had an absolute blast with it. I was just flicking around, still hard to hold my shots, but it was actually really fun. And not to keep harping on the dimensions, again, it was just different. It's really different, and that's what I think the shining point of it right here is the dimensions, right? So I was wondering, like, where did they get this from? Like, you talk about the hottie, right? This is G Pro wireless right here, you know what I mean? So I was wondering, like, did they get it from that? But no, because the HSK right here is definitely thinner than the hottie. You can definitely, I feel like if the HSK was as wide as the hottie, it might have suited me a little bit better, just to bring my fingers out a little bit. I think if you got smaller hands, it would be really perfect for you. But again, I kind of had to like dinosaur grip this little guy, you know what I mean? So again, I think if it was as wide as the hottie, like, is that where they got this shape right? You know, I got an idea. Hold on a second. Hold on, let me just scooch these out of the way. Here we go. Let's get this out here. You know, hold on. Let's get this right here too. How about that? How about we can see if that's where, yeah, right. Come on, get out of here like I'm gonna chop up my stinking hottie. I love that mouse. I love the hottie. But anyway, seriously, I was just curious if that's where they got the shape from. Well, all right, that didn't quite go as planned right there. My front button busted off. I guess I should have went a little bit further back because I really wanted to try it out. But now my button won't stay. They still click. A little bit sticky right there. I couldn't cut through the PCB. I had this old busted blade on this thing. But anyways, let's go on and test out what we were trying here. Let's scooch that out of the way. Let's get our HSK over here and feel it. Right, so when you do that, this guy is definitely higher up on the hump right there. This guy, again, on the HSK, you can see it from the back, and it kind of slides down right there. And you do feel that. That's why that back hump is definitely prominent on your middle knuckles right there. You clearly feel your fingers sitting there if, again, you're going to kind of drop your fingers. Of course, most of us will be in that, you know, really crazy fingertip right there. But if you drop your fingers, you definitely feel that hump up there. Coming over on this custom G-wolves here, your fingers just flow on it. And I think that would be really nice if they made your fingers flow. Because again, you can still get into that fingertip, but you can still rest your fingers, and it's also a little bit wider. I think it would just suit a lot of people much better. Hey, G-wolves, maybe we can do something like that there. I don't know, what do you think? All right, so next up, what you all know we need to test right here is the build. Now, of course, like I stated, this is a sample, so anything we find, hopefully it gets fixed. But let me tell you what, squeezing the side of this guy, I cannot activate the side buttons at all. Wow, I mean, this is the smallest mouse that I can't activate the side buttons on. Very solid. Now, as far as the bottom of the mouse right here, whenever I press by the sensor, I get a little PCB pop right there. Doesn't pop out of place, just pops in and out. But again, I'm pressing this fairly hard, not like with the, what are those, the Model D mouse. Whenever I just pressed it, bam, it popped right out. Not right here. Again, you got to press fairly firm. So seriously, top and bottom, the sides and everything with this tiny little mouse, like I felt bad pressing on this. I felt like a little bully here, you know what I mean? Like, geez, you don't want to squeeze this cute little thing here, you know? But seriously, the build on this little teeny tiny mouse is stinking solid. Now, talking about the cable on the mouse right here, this cable is very nice. A little bit thicker than like an aftermarket paracord or something like that, but very loose. It doesn't hold kinks or anything like that. Again, straight out the box and bam, it is straight. Very nice cable. But again, talking about the mouse being so tiny and so light, whenever I was playing sometimes, even in a bungee, if I had a little bit sitting down on a mouse pad, if it was just lightly in my fingers, again, the cable would kind of stop it and slow it down right there, you know what I mean? So again, I always had to make sure I had, you know, a good hold on the mouse, so again, I wouldn't feel that drag from the cable. And it's also using the 3389 sensor, and these feet on the bottom are perfectly fine. They're not the biggest or anything, but again, with the mouse being so tiny, again, it glides like stinking butter. Now, as far as the buttons here, 1 and 2, very crispy and right to the point. Scroll wheel, nice and recessed in there, very tactile, but still smooth. And it's really cool. If you look close at the scroll wheel, you see you have that red translucent plastic there. I don't know, little touch, but I absolutely love it. Side buttons, I mean, let me tell you what, you can't budge these things. I mean, they are just, whew, no matter what you do, they do not budge. All right, so all in all, my final thoughts on the G-wolves HSK right here. A complete shocker, really shocked me. Again, I had a blast using it. The lack of side buttons on the side right there, it didn't really bother me. Again, I just had to get used to touching those 2 buttons because I usually use mine for Melee and then sliding and then Call of Duty. I just had to get used to using my keyboard. So that really didn't bother me as much as I thought it was. So again, that's perfectly fine. The build is incredibly solid. Now, talking about price, again, I've asked multiple resources and I can't get a price or anything like that. So again, once I do, I'll let you all know. I'll pin it in the comments, but as of right now, I have no idea. My thoughts is, I don't know if I want to say it just because it's so small. Maybe like 49 bucks I think would be good. 39 bucks would be nice because you're using less materials, but I think it'd probably be around 50 bucks, you know what I mean? And again, it's geared at that certain crowd, that fingertip user, that flicker and dipper. If you play fast and everything, you got to win right here. Again, it is a solid product. It's a unique product, which is the coolest thing, I think, you know, reviewing a lot of tech. But again, it's geared 100% towards that fingertip user. Like if I saw this mouse, I personally wouldn't buy it because, again, as y'all know, I like bigger, a little bit heavier mice, you know what I mean? I can still lift 90 grams these days, you know? So if you can't lift 90 grams and you need a tiny mouse, hey, this will suit you. And also, since we don't have any release date or price on this guy yet, I will be opening up commissions for custom G-wolves. Yeah, hold on. Custom G-wolves Hottie Mini mice. Son of a gun. Anyways, hit me up in the comments if you want a custom G-wolves Hottie Mini.